Hello and welcome to College Beard compilation number 1. I've collected 5 stories of College Beard from Festus Maximus, and I hope you enjoy. So without further ado, let's get started. Before we get started, I want to introduce the cast. First, there's me. I'm Mel, 20 years old, 6'3" and 190 pounds. I'm ripped and muscular if I say so myself. Then we have Lady K. She's the object of the Beard's affection. She's the wonderful milady, the damsel in distress, the suffering maiden. Yeah, all of that. She's 19, sporty and athletic, but she's recovering from a neck and back injury, hence the distress. I've been friends with her since I was 10 years old. Then we have Mr. A. He's my best friend. He's doing the same university course as me. He's the same age, and I've known him since I was 11. He's huge. He's like 215 pounds of muscle. I'm going to be using a lot of hyperboles for this guy, as you do with all good bros. Then we have Andrew, which is College Beard, or Mr. Dorito. He's 20 years old, extremely arrogant, seriously obese, and all around the white knight. He thinks he's going pro in Counter-Strike, League of Legends, and any other game that he has played recently. Spoiler alert, he's not. Again, hyperboles and exaggerations will be used to death on this guy. Our story begins at university. Mr. A and I took a gap year. We traveled to Vietnam and Australia to see the sights. Not once did I get emasculated by a dropping bear or bitten by rattlers. Lady K skipped her gap year because she wanted to catch up with us so that she could take the classes together with us because we both literally don't know anybody at university, save 1 or 2 people. It is orientation day and we're all looking around campus to figure out where our lecture locations are and who's on our courses. We all introduce ourselves and now enters our hero, Andrew, who comes up to me with a classy one-liner about a demeaning role for women. And this is what he says.
Some chick needs to get me a sandwich, am I right? Ha 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 ha.
In my endless masculinity, I respond, oh yeah, whatever dude. While I'm not a feminist, I am definitely not a middle-aged minded dope who wants women to get in their place or anything like that. So you can understand that Andrew and I did not get off on a great start, and I saw Mr. A and Lady K looking around. Unfortunately, Andrew sees where I'm looking. He starts toward them, and I follow. I'm dragging my feet because I am dreading the coming cringe. To his credit, Andrew didn't immediately make Mr. A and Lady K hate him. He merely said,
"Hi, I'm Andrew. Can I have your number? I don't have many friends here, and you look like you need a good one."
Lady K looked bemused, and she mumbled something about her phone being low on battery. Andrew was not dismayed though, and he replied with a speedy,
"Oh, that's okay. You can have my number some other time. You won't be able to evade me forever."
Absolute cringe. At this point, I made some comment along the lines of, "Well, we've got a real player over here. Hide your wives." Or maybe I said that one later to my friends. I'm kind of fuzzy on the details. Meanwhile, students had found their study groups and we were getting to know each other. So we dutifully went and said hello to all the people in our classes. And Andrew followed me around, saying,
"Wow, that chick is smoking my carriage. You need to help me get to know her better."
Now I'm crushing on Lady K pretty bad at this point, so his comments merely angered me. I turned around, and very politely, I asked him to please stop following me. Amazingly, he didn't. Yeah, I know. I may have come across a little bit too harsh on Dewey, but this story is just getting started. At this point, I saw a fairly arrogant and extremely fat man trying to make moves on my crush. But oh boy does it get worse. So, at a little party we had to kick off the year, this was to help us to get to know everyone, and everyone was invited. I went, like the normie half-wit that I am, and so did Lady K, but Mr. A couldn't go. Beers aplenty and food in the huge bowls, all popcorn and chips, and such like. As Lady K swims competitively and is getting back into her game after a neck injury, she avoids the snack foods. I really should have done it too, as I need to be fit for my sports, mainly basketball and badminton, but I'm a total pushover for free food, and snacks are my weakness. Cue our friendly neighborhood fedora man. Boom! He comes in, fedora on his greasy, lanky hair, and he makes a beeline for the face that he recognizes. Unfortunately, that face is mine. Lady K is standing next to me, who is awkwardly, but attractively leaning on the wall. She's trying to avoid conversation. With all the dignity that I can muster, I stuff my face with chips and popcorn. Lady K doesn't have the option. Andrew is also pigging out. He's got to maintain that huge fleshy mountain of his. Also, unfortunately, he doesn't care to machine gun us with the half-chewed bits of popcorn while he talks to us.
Hi, Lady K. Hey, Festus. Nice party, don't you think?
No, I really don't think. It's a bust. And nobody's mingling, just sitting around and performing clicks and gossiping about who banged who. Undeterred, our hero continues.
Are you not eating, Lady K?
Without waiting for a reply, he blunders on.
It's horrible how some women are forced not to eat. Most women would be a lot more attractive if they had some more weight. But I guess it saves money.
There, he did it. Lady K suffered for about 4 years of severe anorexia, and she fought herself out of it by swimming and getting competitive. My sister nearly died from anorexia, and she's had mental and eating disorders ever since. I see red. At the moment, the only thing that's holding me back from hitting this enormous meat bag is my inherent introversion and beta tendencies. Lady K sucks in some air through her teeth at his comment, but otherwise remains silent. I'm pretty sure that my face was red, because our master of social interactions comments on that next.
Wow, Festus. Are you okay? You're gone all red. Is there anything you need to tell me?
I keep silent and just chug my beer because I'm a Brit, and dang it, if we do anything well, it's passively aggressively keeping quiet. I had hopes that Dubaka would go away, especially when he sensed the mood, but he doesn't seem to get the hint very well. The party drags on till 1 a.m., at which things start to actually get started, and it started to get interesting. But then the alcohol ran out, and everyone left as if the room had a strong smell of stale Cheetos or flat dew. Oh wait. I live on campus for the first year of university, and so did Lady K and Mr. A. As mentioned, Mr. A was indisposed, and he was up in London, so his bed was free, as we bunked in the same room. Lady K and I went back to my room, and we seethed together about what Jupiter had said. We drank through my reserve alcohol, and we got pretty sloshed. And Lady K went back to her room around 4 a.m., so that our roomie wouldn't expect that anything was wrong. So I was furious at Andrew, and I barely got any sleep. This put me in an even worse mood than I had been before. Hopefully this gives you guys some context as to why I despise Andrew. Don't worry, there's more to come. From stalking to fat logic, to threats of violence and general neckbeardery. Last time I talked about College Beard. He's a guy that we met at college. This is another story that I have about him. Now let's talk about our cast members. There's me. I'm Mel, 20 years old, 6'3", 190 pounds, ripped and muscular if I say so myself. I play a lot of Counter-Strike. That's relevant later. And I'm kind of a weeb, as I play Dark Souls and I watch anime. Then we have Lady K. That's the object of the Beard's affections. She's 19 years old, sporty and athletic, and we've been friends since I was 10 years old. Then we got Mr. A. He's my best friend. We're doing the same university courses, and we're the same age. I've known him since I was 11 years old. He's huge. He's like 215 pounds of muscle. Then we've got Andrew, College Beard or Mr. Dorito. He's 20 years old, arrogant as heck, and he's seriously obese. Then we've got a new cast member. This is Pizza Guy. He's an awesome dude, and he plays Counter-Strike with us. He's better than me, and he spends way too much time on Counter-Strike, or he just spends more time than I do. He isn't too big of a character, but he is relevant. Our frolic begins as it always should, on a weekend, just after the flop of a party. So Lady K and I, we're nursing a slight hangover and general tiredness. I boot up my laptop to see a recent message or 50 on Steam from an account I don't recognize. Naturally, I ask who he is, and I get this shockingly fast response that it's Andrew from university. He wants to play some Counter-Strike. Now, I'm a Master Guardian Elite, so I'm not the best, but I'm pretty good. Lady K is a Master Guardian too, and Mr. A is a Gold Nova Master, as he started later than us, And Pizza Guy, he is the best of us. He's a legendary Eagle Master. Andrew, he's a Gold Nova 3 with several thousand hours of Counter-Strike. So he has played far more than any of us, and he's not as good as us. We get into a competitive match, and this is from dusk till yawn, and it's going very well. We are up 9-6, and on the first half, we're on the terrorist side. Sorry for all the Counter-Strike buzzwords. Andrew is really bad, like not checking corners, missing hard scoped snipes where he knew exactly where they were, flashbanging his own team by accident, and etc. Additionally, he doesn't seem to know about spray patterns, and he panics a lot. The beardery happens around 12:12 a.m. Now we're on the counter-terrorist side, and it is me and Andrew against 4 of them. 3 were pushing up long, where I am with an M4 and a deagle, but I managed to get them all, but it was a fake. They were all going to B to plant. Andrew rushes over to help, and the other team gets the bomb down. As soon as he sees me, he kills me, then apologizes because he thought I was a terrorist. We did win, but not before some unwanted expedition. He started saying things like,
"Girls can't play Counter-Strike. I don't even know why they even bother."
Right before Lady K got a sick 1 versus 5 win. At this point, I'm feeling pretty sorry for this guy, as he genuinely sounds lonely, and I can completely relate to that. However, he continues to spout,
"Girls can't play Counter-Strike,"
lines in Skype call after the game is over, much to my annoyance. Lady K challenged him to a 1v1, any map, any weapon, and he obviously accepts, like the neckbeard he is. How else are you gonna get the girls other than to beat them in a video game? Long story short, she beats him horribly bad, and she doesn't die once. And then he complains,
"This isn't possible. She has to be cheating."
She wasn't. He did a lot of mistakes, like coming out in the open. He didn't account for spray of the weapons. He never walked to hide his noise, not even once. I wonder how the heck he was a Gold Nova master, as he is nowhere near as good as any other Gold Novas. Lady K was mad. She beat him fairly, and then he complains about methods. She yells at him a little bit, not very harshly or loudly, but it reduces him to tears nonetheless, and he quits the Skype call. As the glorious beta that I am, I decided to go and make sure that he was okay. You know, to be a decent human being for once in my life. I knock on his door, and slowly, the entrance to hell opens. The first thing that hits me is the smell. He has had this room for, no joke, 2 days, and yet it smells rancid, like someone mixed stale sweat, a copious amount of Cheetos, cream cheese, and an odd fishy smell. The next thing that I notice was the posters on the wall. We're allowed to decorate our rooms, but his posters were all of anime waifus in compromising positions, with very few intact clothes on. To my eternal shame, I recognized every single anime girl, as I have watched all of the anime. There was Asuna from Sword Art Online, Mikasa from Attack on Titan, and even Casca from Berserk. Even after just 2 days, a large amount of plates have accumulated around his computer, which was where the ham himself resided. Tears dripped down from the peach fluff he called a beard, and his enormous stomach had a mysterious stain on it. I was unsure about what to say. I decided to remain painfully silent, as only a Brit can, and he breaks down in front of me saying,
"I hate myself. I want a girlfriend so badly. But all the women out there are stupid witches. They don't know a real man when they see one."
Now I'm completely straight, and I've been known to be a bit beardy at times, but I've never broken down in front of a random guy that I hardly know, and insult half of the human population. As mentioned, I'm feeling really sorry for him at this point, but the smell is really getting to me. So I say some kind and thoughtful words to make sure he feels better, then I quickly exit the room. I told Lady K what happened, and what he said, and the waifu posters and the fishy smell. She seemed a bit troubled, but that didn't stop us from getting completely drunk again, and playing Brawlhalla while inebriated. I would recommend that, by the way. The story of College Beard, and the day at the gym. It's been so nice to be able to vent about Andrew for once. This story is going to be a good one, as we are going to the gym today. Put on your running underwear, strap on your moves with your sports bra, because we're lifting today. Here's the returning cast. There's me, 20 years old, 6'3", 190 pounds, ripped and muscular. Then we have Lady K, the object of the beard's affection. She's 19, sporty and athletic. Mr. A, my best friend. He's the same age. He is a huge muscular guy. Then we've got Andrew, or Mr. Dorito, aka College Beard. He's 20 years old, arrogant as heck, seriously obese and all-around white knight. We last left our hero after our escapades in the world of Counter-Strike, but at this point I was fearing for my gains, so we went to the local gym, a sanctuary for muscle and tone. A place where like-minded people can get together and get swole. Not a euphemism. It's just, gaining muscle. We went in, we purchased a membership for me, Lady K, and Mr. A. We went and got changed in the respective locker rooms, hyped for the long-awaited workout, and unfortunately this sight hit our eyes. Andrew, clad in far too form-fitting workout gear. He was already at the gym. At least he didn't stalk us, and he had the sense to remove the hat from his greasy hair. We had a system for the gym, and we don't get in each other's way. Today, Mr. A was doing his back, whereas Lady K and I were working on legs. It was agreed that Lady K would spot for me today, as Mr. A was on the other side of the gym. We did our warm-ups, then we got to the squat rack. I love squats. I felt like Atlas when you lift more than your own body weight. And the leg soreness is all but gone for me now, because I do leg days so often. So I add 10 kilograms to each side, that's like 220 pounds. And Lady K takes up the spotter's position behind me as I lift the weight. Andrew doesn't like this. Nope, not one bit. He waddles up to us, and he starts talking to Lady K.
He only got you to spot for him because he wants you to be really physically close to him.
There's some truth to this, but not entirely for that reason. Then he directs his insults to me.
She couldn't lift that weight. Why do you have her spotting for you?
I'm upset now, and so is Lady K. You don't interrupt a guy when he's in the middle of a set. It's not done. I step out from the squat rack and I yell at him, but before I can, he gets to me. He pokes me in the chest and he says,
"You don't respect Lady K. I could destroy you in a duel."
Cringy. Lady K gets me to spot for her when she's lifting 70 kilograms, around 150 pounds. And I take up my position behind her, mostly for moral support, as she can lift that weight quite easily, and also to shut the do up. After 15 minutes later, we're both closing in on our 1 rep max. She lifts 95 kilograms. Beardo is constantly saying something like,
"You're weak if you need a girl to spot you."
But he shuts up when she lifts 95 kilograms. Beardy hasn't done anything all session. Something else that irritates me in gym. And I've been sweating my butt off, making my legs cry. I go over to the dumbbell rack and I do calf raises. And Lady K joins me, and we chat about a whole lot of nothing. She just recently got the all clear for her back from the doctor. Yay! So now she's working out with passion like I've never seen before. Eventually, we tire. We take a break outside the gym, sipping water and just chatting, when who follows us out? None other than Andrew, to ruin our break. And he begins to talk about me like I'm not even there. Stuff like,
"Oh, don't you hate it when guys have to prove their masculinity to you?"
and,
"Wow, there are some Neanderthals in that gym, am I right?"
generally stuff that irritates both me and Lady K. Then he crosses the line when he says,
"All these girls in the gym, they're making themselves look like boys. Must be some kind of anorexia. They would be so much more attractive if they put on a few kilos. Of course, it can be hard for some to put on weight, as size is mostly due to genetics."
No, you're just fat. We got up seething and walked back into the gym, doing the one-handed bro push-up. That's where you hold one of the other person's hands so they can balance while they work off steam, so we can stop ourselves from beating the crap out of this certain beard. We eventually return to campus, and the 3 of us congregate in mine and Andrew's room to watch a film. Drinks were had. We're students. What do you expect? And much complaining was done about a certain fat person. Andrew had effectively destroyed all of our sympathy because of his laziness and his outdated points of view, and just plain idiocy disguised as fat logic. You can always lose weight, just as you can always gain weight. Some people have a more or less active thyroid gland, but your body obeys the laws of thermodynamics, and as such, by doing exercise you can burn calories. It is very simple. Your
Genetics
and
conditions
are less of a factor in your size than your crappy attitude to exercise. It gets worse, it gets so much worse. Especially about the time when Andrew tries Facebook. But that is a tale to be told for a later time. Greetings and salutations. I am currently on holiday from university, and I have like 2 months to do nothing, so I'm a little bored. Talking about Andrew is a good way to pass the time though, so here's the next story in the series. Here's the cast. Me, Festus. I'm 20 years old, 6'3", 190 pounds with an athletic build. I have a major crush on Lady K. Lady K, the object of the beard's affection and mine. She's 19, sporty, athletic. We've been best friends since I was 10 years old. Mr. A, he's my best friend. We're the same age. I've known him since I was 11 years old, and he's a huge muscular guy. Andrew, or Mr. Dorito. He's 20 years old, extremely arrogant, seriously obese, and all-around white knight. Here's new character hype. Cupcake. This is Lady K's friend, and mine too. I've known her since I was 13. She's slightly chubby, but not bad looking. She's a bit of a social justice warrior, but generally a nice person. Andrew has laid low for the past few days, going to introduction lectures and trying not to screw up too massively. Mostly successful with this for a while, but then, one day, he messed up. It was a beautiful Wednesday morning. The birds were singing, students were dragging themselves toward the dining hall, just like a band of acne-ridden zombies. Mostly we ate cereal and toast, but occasionally there would be some hero that would cook some eggs and bacon, or something like that, and the zombies would form their pack and barrel towards the serving tables. This Wednesday was such a day, a slightly warmer than usual autumn morning, worthy of glorious fried bacon. Andrew was first in line, having put on a sprint that I wouldn't have thought he was capable of. He piled up his plate. Rasher upon rashers, fat upon fat, nearly taking a third of all the precious available bacon. I watched in amusement as he gets yelled at by half of the university. Sitting next to Lady K, as we ate our cereal in peace. It was not to be, however, as with a great thunk of flesh on wood, Andrew plops down next to Lady K, and he begins to ram forkfuls of bacon into his rank-smelling maw. Lady K looks slightly green, as his outward bulges make contact with her side and arm. Noticing her predicament, I subtly scooched up to the bench, allowing her some breathing room. Andrew, however, like a cloud of gas, will expand to fill any container that he's in. Andrew, having finished his gargantuan plate of bacon, speaks, spraying us and half the room with the partially chewed flakes of bacon.
Hey, Lady K, do you want to go see a film with me? Sinister came out recently. We can just go on our own.
That's really kind of you to offer, but you see, Festus has already taken me to see that movie, and I wanted to go with him. I wasn't actually. It's a crap movie. Now, this would have been my dream to come true if it was under different circumstances, as I was really crushing on her. But as it is, I rolled with it to see where it went. Yeah, mate, sorry. I didn't know that you wanted to take her, I said. Now I wanted to see how far I could push it. So I said, yeah, we've been dating for a while now. I nudged Lady K's arm to let her know that it was a joke. As it was, she was bright red and looked down at the table. So what did our master of social interaction do next? He took to Facebook and posted a bunch of edgy memes about pushing nice guys over the edge and making them snap, or how women only go for a-holes, and how nice guys are left in the friend zone. Now in the comments of these memes, he always would link our Facebook profiles, and we got a bunch of hate mail from his neckbeard friends. How he found us and why we accepted his request, I'll never know. No joke. On my wall was like 50 different aggressive comments, all of which were deleted by me, so that my mom didn't see. She does check up on me from time to time. Introducing Cupcake, who goes on to every one of the Neckbeards accounts and posts stuff about respecting boundaries and about bullying. She gets really upset about the comments, so we make a group chat and we talk about everything, explaining that no, we are not dating. I have not raped Lady K, never will, and obviously, don't tell the parents, they'll lose it. I discovered a few odd tendencies of his, like he would go on huge Facebook rants, presumably drunk, then make some advances or stalkerish comments on Lady K's really old photos before posting some passive-aggressive memes about nice guys. So, I have demonstrated how twisted he is and how he creeps out everyone that he meets, and for some who never met him, such as Cupcake, Next, we'll talk about Andrew and his thoughts on atheism and the topic of sex and marriage, so that should be fun. Okay, now that the characters are established, we can start into the more interesting parts. From here on in, the stories will contain creep level stuff, so if you're not comfortable with that, you probably want to turn back now. Enough said, let's get started. There's me, Festus, your narrator. 20 years old, 6'3", and 190 pounds. I'm Christian, barely religious, but I'm one of those live and let live type. Screw me, right? Then there's my major crush, Lady K. I'm pretty sure she feels similar, but I'm too beta to do anything yet. Be it as it may, she's the object of the beard's affection. She's 19, sporty and athletic. She's been my friend since 10 years old. She's also Christian. Mr. A. He's my best friend. Doing the same university course as me, same age. I've known him since I was 11. He's a huge muscle guy. Agnostic. He leans toward there's a God, but he doesn't know or care which. Andrew, or Mr. Dorito. He's 20 years old, he's arrogant as heck, seriously obese, and all-around white knight. Thinks very atheistic. All of the wake up sheeple and you've all been blinded crap from him. So this tale takes place shortly after our hero's Facebook frolicking, and I'm not particularly proud about how I acted in this one. Lady K and I are discussing recent lectures. We are both taking physics and chemistry courses. We're talking in the commons room when all of a sudden, with the screams of banshees heralding his arrival, our favorite fedora floats into the room, perched precariously atop the mop of a blowed-on humanity. People dive out the windows, through the fire exits. One man runs into a wall, this being in his haste to escape the toxic odors exuding from this monstrosity. Okay, maybe he just walked in and plopped down on the sofa. The rest is just my imagination of my fight or flight response when he appeared. Andrew seems very pleased with himself, and he's even humming the theme to the song from Attack on Titan. And this one I cringed so hard at this point. I asked him what happened to make him so happy. And he responds with,
I just schooled some funny Christian scum. And a lot of them don't even know how to argue, and don't even know basic facts about science and evolution.
Andrew is a physics student, above average intelligence, but doesn't work. So he gets by with third-class marks constantly. Both I and Lady K work our butts off doing 2 degrees, and we get first-class grades in everything, because we work hard, dang it. Everything that I've achieved, I've worked for. Andrew has coasted by doing as little as he could. I asked him what the heck he meant by the lot of them, to which he responds,
Oh, I didn't realize that you're a man who sympathizes with child rapists and anti-intellectuals.
Never, ever joke about rape in front of me. I'm pretty easygoing most of the time, but if I think you do anything but sympathize 100% with rape victims, you're gonna have a bad time. I didn't realize that you were so pig-headed, and that you were a closed-minded half-wit, who couldn't see reason if it danced in front of your face. At this point, Andrew decides to go all out. He reaches into his extra-large bum bag, and he pulls out the problem of evil.
You think God is nice, huh? How could he let babies drown in a flood if he's so nice?
In response, I used my preferred theodicy, a way of dealing with the problem of evil, the Augustine theodicy. Evil does not exist, just as darkness and cold does not exist. Evil is the absence of good, as is dark the absence of light. You moronic piece of dog crap. Yeah, I'm mad, and I tried genuinely not to swear, or to name call, but this poop blossom is pushing all my buttons. Andrew, the debate master, the fifth horseman of atheism, retorts with the classic,
You've got to be a primary schooler to believe in God. Evolution disproves him.
Now I love science, and I want to devote my life to it, and saying that I haven't thought of something is the ultimate insult that you could probably give me. So I respond, yeah, evolution disproves God like the car manufacturer robot disproves Henry Ford's existence, as in it doesn't. Besides, why would a rational God make the world irrationally? He then says,
Screw you. You're worse than they are. How many children have you molested, and how many women have you oppressed, you jerk? Come with me, Lady K. You need to get away from this freak before he pulls you into his lies. It's called marriage. and then systematically raped you for the rest of your life.
So I pushed him. It was only a gentle push, in my opinion. If I would have done it to Mr. A, he would have just laughed and slapped me back. But Andrew went flying. He stumbled back, tripped over his own feet, and fell over. Then Lady K said, "I'm Christian too, you dumb butt. So why don't you stop insulting me, my friend, and my God, and go back to munching your snack foods?" Needless to say, Andrew was upset, and there was a plethora of memes and freaking paragraphs on his Facebook page when we looked. I was mortified and ashamed of myself, because I never react physically to people. It proves them right if you feel the need to resort to violence. Lady K and I spent that afternoon doing damage control. We got no work done, meaning the entire Saturday was going to be taken up by catching up on my work. Luckily, we weren't reported for our actions, but Beatus Boy was getting me down big time. Lady K, Mr. A, and I, we went out to the bar to get heroically sloshed in order to make up for the day. Halfway through the evening, Lady K's phone rings, and she didn't recognize the number. But that's a story for another time.